Welcome into the program. Tom Tabak here. In the studio with me today, I'm going to be talking to John Judelson and Neel Upadhye, and they are bringing us the film Dating Daisy at the Sedona Film Festival. John is the producer, and Neel is the director. And let me start with John, the producer. I'll go in order of importance. How's that?
That sounds great.
Who hired who? Okay, I'll go with John. Tell me what is Dating Daisy? The first thing I thought of course, when I saw this was Driving Miss Daisy. That made me think of that, yeah. So what is Dating Daisy?
Dating Daisy is a feature film about dating in your 20s. It's a independent feature film that Neel wrote and directed, and I produced for him, and he can give you a little overview of the plot.
Okay, Neel, as the director, tell me now, what is the plot? And dating in the 20s, it sounds scary. You know, I'm far removed from that, and I would not want to go back.
It's a crazy time for sure. You know, you're trying to balance your career with your love interests, and I went through a lot of crazy relationships through my 20s where there was an incredible amount of passion, and it was just timing. How do you get the timing and all the gears to click? And I felt coming out of my 20s that I had something to say on the subject matter, and so I wrote this film, and we were very fortunate to be able to make it and debut it here in Sedona this week. The film's about two exes, very passionate exes, who decide they can handle road tripping together back to their hometown for the holidays, and of course end up falling back into their crazy past.
Sure.
And have more than their fair share of advice from family members, wanted or unwanted.
Okay. Now, character-wise, who's the most damaged of the two? Is it the gal or the guy?
I think that it's actually a little bit of both, and that's the fun thing about it. For me, like whenever you're in a relationship, like you're the hero, of course, right? And the other person's doing these things to you, and what was fun for me with this film was getting to step into and empathize with the perspective that my girlfriends had and understanding why their priorities had made them make certain decisions. And art can be the most amazing therapy, right? And so I really set out with the objective to not write a villain in this film.
Okay.
And just see where people in certain stages of their lives with the priorities that they have make the choices that they make. Yeah. And seeing how that plays out. I like to describe it as like a relationship movie for real people.
Okay, now as you watch this, and everybody's going to have their own reflections on it, of course, because of their own backgrounds and so forth. Are you cringing through this because of the things you went through yourself, or are you laughing because it ends up being a fun trip?
I laugh through it. I definitely laugh through it. I think that when you find the comedy in the pain, it becomes like the most truthful of both, Yeah. And that's what we're doing here. The film is definitely funny. It's got a lot of funny moments, but it tackles some serious subject matter in through that lens.
If you're 20-something and you're watching this, is it going to be kind of an enlightening thing? If you're 40-something plus watching this, I would imagine it's going to be laughable because you throw back to those days when you realized you didn't know what you thought you knew.
Yeah, I mean, I think we hear this a lot as people, when they see the movie, they're like, I've dated that person, or I've been that person in a relationship. So I think that, I think people will identify it no matter what their age, because most people have been 20 or will be 20. Yeah. And at some point, they'll go through this type of relationship. Okay.
Where'd the story come from? Where'd the scenarios develop? Which one of you is guilty for that? Whose life are we delving into here?
I guess that would be mine. The film is not really, autobiographical in that the events of the film did not happen. Yeah. But the themes, the conversation,
names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Exactly, including myself. But the themes, the conversations, the types of conflicts that come up when you're trying to balance career and relationships, those are all a patchwork of things through my life. And the families actually have a big part to play in this film. The structure of the film is very interesting because the characters meet having not been together for quite a while, road trip north, and then you have Thanksgiving with her family, Thanksgiving with his family, and the characters are actually separated for most of the film. And so you get to see how their family life, how their backgrounds affect and change things when they end up being together and driving home.
I can so reflect on that myself. Yeah, because my wife and I have been married going on 45 years now, but
wow.
when we were in our 20s and we were living close to the families, of course, when you said going to Thanksgiving with her family, going to Thanksgiving with his family, I can remember having to eat that much, and how it was a different dynamic in each house.
Our production designer, Rachel Condrath, who's incredible production designer. She's a production designer on the show Drunk History, if you're aware of that show. And she's vegetarian. And her having to cook all these Thanksgiving dinners with our art director and props master Kiko Thomas, she had to put a handkerchief over the smell of turkey and stuff. Did not do it for her.
Yeah, she doesn't remember having to eat things she didn't want to. Because I did. I had to eat things I didn't want to make her family feel good. I'm sure she did the same thing at my family's Thanksgiving. Okay, now tell me about the actors. How did you find the actors?
I mean, it started out with, Sasha was the first actor we cast, right, Neel?
Yeah, we did a read-through of the film pretty early on, and we just wanted to see how the script would play. But I had two actors in mind that I felt might be right for the leads, and I asked them to come in and help me out with the reading, not telling them that this was really like a secret audition.
Interesting, yeah.
I don't think they knew it until they got there, and then they started seeing how kind of formal and set up everything was, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is an audition. And the response at that read-through was amazing. You would have never known that these two had never met, had never read the script, the chemistry, there were people, the actors were crying in this read-through. Yeah. It was incredible.
And then throughout the project, they fall in love, right? And then they're now married, right? And expecting their first child.
No, not exactly.
Wait for the sequel.
Don't tell me they hate each other's guts after going through this now.
No, but they definitely had an amazing, on-screen presence, and we knew pretty quickly that we had our leads. Yeah. And then worked with Cara Sullivan, our casting director, who helped fill out the cast with just incredible ensemble of actors who've had lots of success in television.
Now, this is a story about a road trip, and of course everything that goes along with that, and in terms of their personalities and so forth and their development. And how did you film it then? Did you were there a lot of locations involved?
Yeah, I think there was about 13 locations in total, which is actually pretty conservative for a film. But we knew our budget was tight, so we intentionally designed the script to have a lower number of locations, although we didn't skimp. We actually shot, for example, on the freeway. We shut down part of one of the two freeway in Los Angeles, and we shot there on a process trailer. So we put our car, about 30 pages of the script takes place in a moving car, and during the day, so you can fake it, but it won't look as good, or you can actually put the car on the process trailer like what we did, and go out there and shoot, and that's what we did. So I think I'm pretty proud of all the locations that we got. We shot in Hot Springs, which is like a crazy location to get, and just two houses, bunch of streets and areas all around Los Angeles.
LA County, San Bernardino County, Ventura County, Ojai, Santa Barbara. So definitely a film on the road, for sure. And, the great thing about John as a producer is that he likes to do things and attempt things that we have no business doing at our budget level. Having cop escorts shutting down the freeway and filming was one of those things where if you don't have the money, what it does take is just a hell of a lot of gumption, time, and research. And he's the type of guy who will do that. And all of a sudden, our little film looks like something much, much bigger because it's got that production value. Yeah.
You're obviously very proud of it. You brought it here to the Sedona Film Festival. How many other festivals have you attended, or do you plan to attend?
This is our first festival.
Is it?
We just started our festival run, and this is the first festival that it will premiere at. And we just got accepted into the Phoenix Film Festival, so we'll be showing there later in April.
Okay. What are your hopes now that you've got the project done? What would you like to see happen with it?
I mean, I think we're
getting it seen.
Yeah, we really want people to see the movie and enjoy the movie, have fun with it. We have hopes of going to many more festivals. Especially, we'd love to go to some festivals in Los Angeles because we have a lot of people there who'd love to see the movie. And ultimately, we'd like to get distribution for the movie. We've been kind of having some, talking to some distributors, just kind of testing the water. And, hope that eventually we can get distribution so that people all around the world can see the movie.
When's it going to play here? Let's talk about that so that the people listening can make their plans, whether they're already attending the festival or not, they get a chance to see the film.
we're going to be screening on Thursday, February 25th at noon at the Mary D. Fisher Theater. And then we'll have our second screening on Saturday, February 27th at 6:10 p.m. at the Harkins 2 cinema.
Okay, great. So Thursday, 12 p.m. at the Mary D. Fisher Theater, and then right across the street on Saturday, February 27th at 6:10 p.m. at the Harkins Theaters. Okay, and what they're looking for, of course, is Dating Daisy. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fantastic. Have you guys done a lot of projects like this, or is this kind of a launching pad for you?
It's a bit of a launching pad. You know, John and I have been producing partners for a long time. We've made a lot of content. We've made TV pilots. We've sold TV pilots. But this is our first full-length feature film. Mm-hmm. And you know, what we want to do is be able to keep doing what we love. Yeah. And you know, people seeing this film, supporting independent film is all a big part of that. How
did you two get involved in the business in the first place? Are you from the Los Angeles area?
Yeah, we actually met at USC. I had seen a film that Neel actually was acted in, and I thought it was a fantastic film. So I approached him after the festival and got his contact information, and I think we made our first film many years ago called Dim Light, which we did together, and have been making films together ever since. It's just a perfect match partnership between Neel, who loves doing the writing and directing, and I love doing the producing. And so it's kind of a perfect match for our skill set. Very tough business.
Obviously, not a lot of people can do it well and get the breaks that you need to make a living doing it. So I applaud you for your efforts. Have you had a lot of stumbling blocks, a lot of roadblocks?
It's definitely a tough business, but it's the best job in the world,
mm-hmm.
And it's a privilege to be able to do it. And I think that John and I are both very lucky that when we're not making movies, we're still in a very creative field. We work at EA, the video game company, and I work on the Star Wars video games there.
Oh, no kidding.
And
mm-hmm.
John works on the Battlefield franchise, which is a very big video game franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And we're both at this major video game publisher doing what we do best.
Mm-hmm.
I'm directing creative content, and John is producing amazing high production value content, and that's a real that keeps you fed, keeps you juiced and keeps your skills sharp.
You kept your day jobs.
Yeah. That was one of the tough things about making this movie.
Yeah.
We have a normal job, right? And I would actually say this is encouragement to people out there who want to be filmmakers but don't know how they can do it. Mm-hmm. I mean, we were really scrappy. We were in the office Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we're shooting the film Thursday through Sunday.
Mm.
And that was 5 straight weeks of doing that, and that can definitely take a toll mentally, but man, just the energy of all those people around you helping you make that art, you push through it.
We couldn't have done it without all of the cast and crew who helped us.
Yeah. I love the story. I love how you had to sacrifice to do this, and how you were smart enough to keep your jobs and make it work in spite of that. I think a lot of people wrongly think that they have to give up their entire lives to try and make this work, and I look forward to seeing the film myself. We're talking to John Judelson and Neel Upadhye.
Upadhye.
I knew I was going to screw it up the second time. I got it right the
first time. You nailed it the first
time. Okay. And the film, of course, is Dating Daisy. And again, folks, we're talking about Thursday, February 25th, 12 p.m. at the Mary D. Fisher Theater, and then right across the street on Saturday, the 27th at the Harkins. Again, Dating Daisy. Guys, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You've been listening to The Business Profile on 780 KAZM. The Business Profile can be heard weekdays at this time. Just another way KAZM keeps you in touch with the community. To profile your business or special event, call KAZM at 282-4154. That's 282-4154.